Surabhi, but coming back to stocks, the big story, Lever?
There's so many big stories. When there's TCS, we're just going through them one by one. There's Glenmark, and the other big corporate headline, which came in last night, was HUL looking to undergo a management transition. Rohit Java is all set to step down as the CEO of Hindustan Unilever after just about 2 years at the helm. Priya Nair, who's currently the president of the beauty and well-being business at Unilever, will take the reins, becoming the first woman to lead India's largest consumer staples company. Let's talk about this with Abneesh Roy, who's of course been tracking this company in the sector for years and years from a market lens, market perspective. Abneesh, very interesting. Typically, I guess, Unilever or any FMCG company CEOs, they have longer tenures, right? This was a short one for Mr. Java. She's an insider. Ms. Priya is an insider, so I don't think there could be any continuity issues. But what would your first thoughts be?
Yeah, thanks and good morning. Yeah, you're right. This was a surprising development. Yes, last 2 years, Rohit definitely tried a lot of initiatives. He did the minimalist acquisition. Project Aspire led to volume-led growth. If you see in Q1, we do expect improvement in volume trajectory for Hindustan Unilever. We expect around 4% volume growth YOY versus 2% previous quarter. So there is an improvement, but we don't see any material reason for this development. Overall, we remain quite positive on Hindustan Unilever. As you rightly said, Priya definitely brings a lot of value to the table, 30 years in HUL, and she has spent most of her time in India. She has done a splendid job in the home care business where she was heading it as executive director for 6 years. And even at the parent level, she was heading the entire beauty and well-being. I think beauty and well-being, clearly HUL has some work to do, and her understanding, being a woman MD, and definitely I would say that category will see that further push. Of course, she has been groomed under Mr. Sanjeev Mehta, who did a splendid job of 10 years when the market cap of HUL went up 4 times and almost had a 900 bips EBITDA margin improvement. Rohit, of course, last 2 years, the macro was very challenging, but when he's exiting, I think the volume growth has recovered, the macro has recovered. So overall, short tenure, but he had 37-year tenure at Unilever.
Yeah. No, and also he's steered the company through a phase of, immense disruption, right? Macro challenges aside, that's one part of it. But just the sheer amount of disruption with the onslaught of quick commerce. So very quickly, just revise for us, what is your growth expectation for Lever this quarter and this year, volume growth? And what you would say would be perhaps the 1 or 2 things that you would expect the new CEO to really focus on to get the growth levers back on track?
Yeah, good question. So we expect 4% volume growth and sales growth around 4.5%. So that's a clear improvement versus the past few quarters. And we expect that trend to continue because clearly palm oil has corrected sharply PFAD. So that benefit will come in H2 for Hindustan Unilever. So they can flow back more towards growth in terms of aggression. And coffee cost has also corrected 30%. So Priya Nair, very good credentials, but definitely lucky also in the sense that volume is improving. The margins will be there to push more advertising, more promotion, more innovation. And yeah, last will be essentially minimalist acquisition in terms of doing the D2C more aggression. We see that HUL will be more aggressive on more acquisitions in this space, D2C, and clearly parent, the CFO became the MD few months back at the parent. So he's very aggressive on India, very focused on India. So overall, we see this as a non-issue. We see that definitely Rohit did a good job in 2 years, but macro was very challenging. Now when macro is improving, clearly Priya further can take it up. So we are positive. We see 3055 as the target price for HUL.
You said 5% full year volume growth? This quarter you said 4%. Full year how much?
Yeah, full year should be around 6%. Because 6%. We see expectation of more improvement. As I said, now palm oil is down and coffee is down. So
yeah, you explained.
We'll be able to fund the growth.
I on a lighter note, I got a call from HUL late in the night.
Okay.
Said, well, be ready to start using your Malayalam.
Oh.
Priya Nair.
Priya Nair, oh.
I said, but
it's all the South Indian women taking charge. When there's Aarti Subramanian at TCS, Priya Nair at HUL, the women from the South, always strong.
Women in general. But,
and women in general.
The other thing, of course, I think Abneesh, I don't know if he alluded to that. Abneesh, the point is, of course, the environment was tough, etc. The other thing, of course, also is that, Mr. Java was came, 20, 25 years overseas, right? I mean, then he was dropped in India, right? Whereas Priya Nair is very much been here and kind of sort of headed divisions, etc. Does that also will that also make a difference? We'll see the execution and what she does, etc. But is that an important difference compared to what we saw under Mr. Java and what perhaps we will see under the new CEO?
Yeah, I think that definitely matters because Priya's experience has been there in India when all this D2C disruption happened. So definitely in beauty and well-being, which is a very focus area for HUL and Unilever, she has the ability to take it to the next level. So to that extent, that should definitely help. And being a woman MD and that part of the understanding will also be helpful. So yes, I do see that the very strong India experience of Priya Nair, and she was heading that part of the business at the parent, and she did a splendid job in the home care also. So it is not that only beauty and well-being or personal care is her forte. In home care, she was the executive director for 6 years, and we saw massive premiumization and massive margin improvement and market share improvement in that category. Of course, Sanjeev Mehta was grooming her, and now we will expect that also to take the company to the next level.
Well, hi, Abneesh. Good to see you. When, as you said, Rohit took over at very challenging times. Priya's taking actually at an opportune time when the macro tailwinds, inflation is cooling off as well. Rohit had to face a lot of challenges at that point of time. That said, do you think that, this is a big knee-jerk reaction? Because at Unilever PLC as well, we saw a change of guard, I think within a year or so. And out here as well, change of guard within 2 years. Viewing Priya as a change agent post a 5% pop-up in the stock today, would it be running ahead of itself?
So three things. One is investors have interacted with Priya in the events, analyst meets, etc. So to that extent, she's a known face. So I don't see any problem of any knee-jerk negative reaction. So yeah, near term, medium term, I think the stock should do well. And in terms of the overall leadership change, if you see, yes, it is being seen as a positive. So I don't see any knee-jerk negative reaction, but medium term and short term also, we see the stock doing well. The sector is back in favor. If you see, we are going to see a sector churn, right? We have seen some of the other results of tech companies, etc. So we are expecting that investors will shift more towards the staples. HUL clearly is the big daddy there, so that will also benefit. So yeah, we expect a positive reaction to the stock in the near term.
Got it. Okay. All right, Abneesh, thanks a lot for joining in. That's the big mover from the Nifty pack itself. HUL up close to around 4%. And Abneesh saying that it's an opportune time. Macros are working in her favor. And we're seeing a shift to a lot of these companies itself, the consumption companies that actually have been underperformers in the last few years. So good time for those shareholders, probably in the near to medium term. Thanks, Abneesh.